Now, from the fifth floor Cumulus Studios in downtown Dallas, it's time for Inside Real Estate. Here's your host, Michael Kruizinga.
Good morning, Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. It's time for Inside Real Estate. Mike Kruizinga, your host, here for your entertainment pleasure. And we're going to be talking all things real estate. We're going to talk a little home improvement. And, of course, we talk mortgage and insurance and all kinds of good stuff as well. But if you listened to us before, you know that we do not just that. We talk a little sports, entertainment, politics, all kinds of things from time to time. Don't forget the website, InsideRealEstateRadio.com, InsideRealEstateRadio.com. You want to call in and talk to us, 888-787-KLIF, 888-787-KLIF. Don't forget all of our social media stuff. We're on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Pinterest, and all that. The Pinterest pages are kind of cool because every show has its own page, and there's a lot of different topics and stories that we talk about that kind of link over to like the Dallas Business Journal and a lot of really unique articles there. So that's always fun to check out. So have a peek there. And then, of course, you can hit all the other stuff as well from InsideRealEstateRadio.com. So if you want to connect to any of our partners that are part of the radio show, you need their services, connect there. Or always just give me a buzz direct, and I'll put you in touch with them right away. Here's what we're doing today. We got a pretty action-packed show coming up. After opening here, we're going to get into some home improvement talk with the owner of Ideal Floors, Kevin Hamus. So we're going to be doing that coming up here about 8:10. After that, we're going to do a little foundation talk with Jared Benson over at Perma Pier Foundation Repair of Texas. And then coming up live in studio later in the show, we're going to do insurance talk with J.C. Harder of Goosehead Insurance. And then we're going to do a little mortgage talk with Terry Wagner later in the show. So, by the way, if you want to call in, 888-787-KLIF, and we will take some insurance and mortgage calls today. So if you want to give us a shout on that. Let's get into the show. You know, we do a little bit of this day in history to kind of get things started. By the way, March 13th, Sunday, and let's head back in time real quick. Actually, back in time is pretty slim back in time today, but we got a few things. How about let's go to 1519. Hernan Cortez lands in Mexico, and not a good thing for the locals. 1781, William Herschel sees what he thinks is a comet, but is actually the discovery of the planet Uranus. And but of course, if you know your history, then Uranus was already well discovered back way before then. Back in the Sumerians' time, so maybe it was rediscovered, they should say. 1960, NFL Chicago Cardinals moved to St. Louis. 1965, the Beatles, 8 days a week, single goes number one. And I know, Josh, it seems like you're working 8 days a week, isn't it? Our guy Josh up here, he's like the Mega Man, Superman, working up here. He does everything at the radio station. 1986, Microsoft has its initial public offering. Let's go to 91. Exxon pays $1 billion in fines to clean up the Al Valdez oil spill. And then we move on into the 2000s. 2008, gold on the New York Exchange hits $1,000 an ounce for the first time. And, of course, I don't think it's gone south of $1,000 since then. Went up to around $1,700. I think it's probably around $1,200 right now. Hadn't really looked lately, but hasn't gone south of there for some time. That's going to do it for this day in history back in time. Let's see what we got talking. You know what? We haven't really talked about sports much lately. We got some stuff going on in the NFL. Potentially, how about Brock Osweiler heading on down to Houston, they're saying. Quite possibly, potentially a $72 million deal, but it's not done yet. It's not done. They've, I guess, verbally agreed to everything is what I'm seeing. And they're saying up in Denver that Brock, doesn't want to stay, that his feelings were hurt about the whole thing with Elway getting benched and whatnot. But I wouldn't put it past Elway to still put this thing together and keep him there. But if he does go to Houston, where Kubiak was coaching down there before anyway, so they've already got a relationship down there with Houston anyway, and we'll see if that happens. But I've heard they're talking about maybe Kaepernick in Denver, so that would be interesting. So who knows what they're going to do there. NCAA March Madness is coming, and guess what? They're doing the lineup today, 4:30, I think. 4:30 this afternoon, so we'll be interesting to see what happens there. Hey, this was an interesting off-the-wall story in sports. I had heard about this when it happened, but they kind of did a reprisal on it. Texas Ranger Chris Jimenez, during the offseason, he had almost a Final Destination moment when he was back at home in Reno, Nevada. He was on the side of the highway, and a snowplow goes by. And the snowplow digs up this 50-pound grate, like a storm drainage grate. And the grate goes flying off the side of the highway, kind of off where he was sort of down the ramp and away, and off the side of the road, out of his truck. The grate just nails the cab of his truck. And it was an absolute, if you've ever seen any of the Final Destination movies, this is absolutely out of the story. It's just snowplow drives by, nails the grate. It goes flying in the air off the side of the highway and just lands smack into this guy's cab and just crushes the truck pretty much. And had he been in there, it might have been hurt. Thank goodness he was kind of out and away. But that I thought I had to bring that story up because I had heard about it, but then they did reprisal and I saw that and I was like, yeah, we got to tell people about that because it was kind of wild and crazy. Folks, guess what? We're going to take a short break and we're going to come on back and we're going to talk some home improvement with Kevin Hamus. See you in a few.
The following program is furnished by K1 International, LLC, and is responsible for its content.
With decades of experience, the Rocky Martin Supreme Lending Team will work to close your home loan in 30 days or less. With access to the most competitive interest rates, the most financing options, and the most access to down payment assistance programs, the Rocky Martin Team won't be beating service to you for all your mortgage needs, including purchase and refinance. Trust RockyMartin.com and his team for their reliable and fast loan process. Go to RockyMartin.com or call 972-772-1866 today.
For housing lender, NMLS ID number 211731, 6730 Horizon Road, Suite B, Heath, Texas 75032.
Living in the DFW area, expansive clay soil and extreme weather conditions play havoc on homes' foundation. But thankfully, you can turn to Permapeer Foundation Repair of Texas, who has successfully repaired over 20,000 properties and counting in the DFW area. With the most trusted, tried and true foundation repair methods, trust the professional staff of Permapeer Foundation Repair to take care of your property, and most repairs are backed by a lifetime transferable warranty. Mention Inside Real Estate Radio when calling Permapeer at 214-637-1444 or when booking online at permapeer.com for your Inside Real Estate Radio discount.
Now back to Inside Real Estate. Here's Mike the Realtor.
The J.C. Harder Insurance Agency.
Hey, everybody out there. We are back. It's Inside Real Estate with Mike Kruizinga, your host. InsideRealEstateRadio.com is the website. InsideRealEstateRadio.com is the website. Our favorite home improvement partner, Kevin Hamus, is here in studio with us. 214-789-0422 is his number, direct, and IdealFloors.com is the website. Multiple locations throughout the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Millions and millions of square feet of product. If you're thinking about flooring in any shape, form, or fashion, or even thinking about doing some tile work in the showers or the bathrooms or in the kitchen, Kevin is your guy to go to. Kevin, how are we doing today?
Doing really good, actually. I had a pretty good day, had a pretty good week, so doing really well.
Good. So I know we wanted to talk a little bit more about the program that we work on together, and that you work on with other folks with as well, which is the pay at closing option for our seller clients out there when we're trying to get their home on the market. And sometimes we come across these folks that need to sell their home, but the home is not quite in tip-top shape. So we come in there, we recommend some some things for them to do. Of course, running the numbers to make sure they've got some equity to pay for these repairs. But 9 times out of 10, if they do have some equity, making these repairs is going to increase the value of their sales price. So instead of selling it as is and leaving money on the table, we're actually able to get those repairs done, market and sell their property at a higher dollar figure, netting them better profit and walking away. And so these types of programs that we have with our vendors helps the seller clients be able to do this, because a lot of them may not have the funds to pay for the product and installation directly right then. And of course, you have other financing options as well for the typical homeowner, 6 month and 1 year, same as cash. But this particular program is great for sellers because we can go 45 days on market, get under contract, get it sold, and you guys get paid at closing. And we're working on that. In fact, I had two new clients over the last couple of weeks that we're going to be listing their home soon. Both of them actually needed foundation work. That foundation work on both of those jobs is actually being done this next coming week. And then we're working with one of your reps to get flooring in there, scheduled in there right after that. So those two folks right there, significant equity in their property. Really didn't have the money to pay for the flooring, though, outright. So great option for us, get the flooring paid at closing. And both these houses will be able to market and get, under contract probably really quickly. So a huge, huge program, huge benefit. And so I just want to talk a little bit more about it.
Well, the pay at closing is an excellent program because it keeps people from having to come money out of their house.
Right.
And, we give them 45 days to close, and if they don't, we have them apply for Wells Fargo to where we can give them another 6 months, same as cash financing for them to close. So, they not only don't come out of pocket with their money, they also don't have to pay any interest either. So It's like cash.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's huge. I mean, so there's really no other, crazy fees. So honestly, I mean, you would be thinking, okay, well, what additional fees am I going to have to pay on top of that? But there's no tricks on it or anything like that. It's simply giving you that option, that flexibility to get the flooring done, get it taken care of, get you on market. And so it's not only it's benefiting you in multiple ways as a homeowner out there and as a home seller, because if you couldn't get that flooring done, you're not going to be able to sell at the same price. So not only are you getting the benefit of being able to sell at a higher price, you're getting the benefit of not coming out of pocket immediately. And Kevin is able to give you that flexibility, which is a great thing, and you should thank him for that.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. And also we have special pricing, for people who are referred by Mike and other realtors because of the volume of business that they give us. And so you actually get better pricing if you come, referred from Mike. And also just another thing to talk about is if you don't currently need any flooring, but you do know somebody who does need flooring, we do pay referral fees up to $250. So, we just want to say thank you for sending us some business. And so we do that also.
Yeah, and that's really huge. So, folks, if you're listening and you know somebody out there that needs flooring, that's a great option, great incentive for you to do that. And, of course, I would think your incentive is helping a friend or colleague at work that that needs flooring. And if you've heard the show and if you've heard about Kevin and Ideal Floors, then you'd probably just want to give them your information anyway, especially because of the program that you do with Ideal Floors gives back, and that you just operate in such a great way, and you're always consumer first. But yeah, folks, you need to take advantage of this program. If you're a home seller out there, it's really the trifecta. Like Kevin said, not only are we going to be able to sell your home at a higher dollar figure if we have all new flooring in your home, but Kevin's going to basically allow you 45 days to get that, we'll get on market and get under contract and get you sold, so he gets paid at closing. So he's giving you that flexibility of not coming out of pocket. and there's no other hidden fees on top of it. And plus, you're going to get the realtor discount coming in through us, since we're going to be listing and selling your home, and the relationships that Kevin and us have. So it's really just a win-win-win all the way around. Discount, pay at closing. Plus, to top it all off, you're going to make a heck of a lot more money on the sale of your home. You just are. Bottom line, you're going to get way more in sales price just by updating your flooring. Now a lot of you folks are going to need a little more to do. Like I said, we had two of them that are doing foundation work, then flooring, then they've got some painting, some aesthetics to do, and some cosmetics. But, the flooring is the biggest expense. You can paint your house on your own. That's pretty easy, and still make it look like a decent job. Or you can get somebody to do it. But flooring is a huge expense, or can be a huge expense, and so Kevin's taking care of that. So we need to thank Kevin for that program, that flexibility, because it's helping you, the homeowner out there, to sell at a higher dollar figure.
Well, the thing also that happens that in the past, many, many years ago, giving flooring allowances, did work. But today they really don't work. That the majority of the buyers can't really see through the old flooring and the flooring that doesn't look very good, and
right.
And it affects selling the house. So I know a lot of people, that's what they want to do is just offer a an allowance for flooring, but but chances are if you go in and you do replace the flooring, instead of selling something for $150,000, you may be able to sell it for $155,000 or $160,000 because of the new flooring. But if you go in there and just give them an allowance, you may only end up selling it for $145,000 or something like that, because the people just can't see through that, and it'll just cut down the number of buyers. Mm-hmm. Lots of people worry about, well, what if I put in something that people really don't want? If you go neutral,
right,
you don't have to worry about it, because neutral goes with everything.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what everybody's looking for anyway, is something neutral. And that's an absolute great point, because there are still some agents out there that will advise their clients just go with a carpet allowance. But they're doing a couple things. One, a lot of agents don't really know how the carpet allowance works. And you're right, the consumer, the buyer that's looking for homes, just can't see past that old 70s carpet or that old 80s carpet, or honestly even the old 90s carpet or early 2000s carpet, because guess what, folks, we're in 2015, if you can believe it. And even if it was a lower grade carpet maybe put in 5 years ago, but let's say they heavy trafficked it, dogs and kids, and they just pounded the holy bejesus out of it, then guess what, it's a mess, and it needs to be replaced. And so people can't see beyond that. And so you could say, okay, sure, give them a carpet allowance, but guess what? You can't mark it up and then mark down with the carpet allowance. All you're going to do is market it at the price you can there, and then maybe add the carpet allowance in. So it almost may be worse than just selling as is. So you're right, that doesn't really work anymore. And if you do it like we're talking to you about, folks, we come in, we check your equity, see what you got in there, and then talk to you about doing some repairs and then getting a higher dollar figure, walk-away dollar figure. That's what you want. You don't want to leave money on the table. You don't want to sell as is and leave money on the table if at all possible. Now, some people don't want to deal with it, and I understand that. But when you start talking to them about money they're going to leave on the table, generally they change their mind, and we'll deal with it. So folks, just a great option for you on this.
Well, and the one thing also, people might say, well, maybe you have really high prices, now that's why you're able to do this. But actually we have extremely competitive prices because of the way that we buy. We buy by trailer loads, and we stock over 3.5 million square feet in stock. Also, we have, I have a personal price match guarantee, is that if you bring us in a quote from a legitimate company that we can sell the exact same product, I guarantee we'll sell it for less, or else I'll pay you $10,000. So, we are extremely competitive when it comes to pricing.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to say that right there, that is absolutely huge. Then there's no doubt you're going to beat anybody and everybody out there. So, folks, if you're listening to us, and you think you're going to find a better price, no, Kevin's going to beat it. No way. No way you're going to see it cheaper anywhere else. And if you do, he's going to beat it big time. Well, folks, look, it's been another great segment with Kevin Hamus, owner of Ideal Floors. IdealFloors.com is the website. Phone number 214-789-0422 for all of your flooring, bathroom, tile needs, everything you could possibly need for a remodel when it comes to flooring. Kevin is your man, absolutely. And, folks, if you're thinking about selling out there and you need flooring, hey, don't come out of pocket. Don't worry about coming out of pocket. And don't think about trying to sell as is, because you're going to leave money on the table. Get with myself, and we'll get you with Kevin so we can get you some flooring in there and sell you at top dollar, not at sale as is value. You don't want to do that. Folks, it's Inside Real Estate with Mike Kruizinga. We will see you in a few.
Sellers, how would you like your home sold guaranteed? Buyers, how would you like your bid guaranteed to win? Well, it's real simple. Call Mike Kruizinga with Chris Arnold Premier Realty and ask about their guarantee programs for both buyers and sellers. No one beats Mike's professional listing and marketing services for all price ranges, including luxuries and ranches. And few have the knowledge and patience to take first-time buyers from renting to home ownership in a tough market. Visit DFWMetroplexRealestate.com and mention you heard this on the radio. And listen to Mike Sundays, 8 a.m. on KLIF for Inside Real Estate.
The J.C. Harder Insurance Agency in Uptown Dallas has nearly unlimited resources when it comes to getting you the best insurance rates and policies for home, auto, and more. As part of the Goosehead Insurance brand, you, the consumer, have the power of choice through the J.C. Harder Insurance Agency Network. For a quote today on all your insurance needs, stop by J.C.'s office on McKinney Avenue in Uptown Dallas. Call 214-643-6108 or visit jcharderagency.com. That's 214-643-6108 or jcharderagency.com.
With decades of experience, the Rocky Martin Supreme Lending Team will work to close your home loan in 30 days or less. With access to the most competitive interest rates, the most financing options, and the most access to down payment assistance programs, the Rocky Martin Team won't be beating service to you for all your mortgage needs, including purchase and refinance. Trust RockyMartin.com and his team for their reliable and fast loan process. Go to RockyMartin.com or call 972-772-1866 today.
For housing lender, NMLS ID number 211731-6730 Horizon Road, Suite B, Heath, Texas 75032.
Celebrate your St. Patrick's Day Thursday night with a free concert featuring The Voice Season 2 contestant and Big Machine label group recording star Ray Lynn, with special guests, the winners of the 2015 Nash Next Talent Search in Dallas-Fort Worth's own Breaking Southwest. Join the free party at the Cambridge Room in the House of Blues, Dallas. Space is limited, so get there early to make sure you get in. Doors open at 6. Show starts at 7 Thursday night. All ages welcome. For more info, hit houseofblues.com.
Now back to Inside Real Estate. Here's Mike the Realtor.
Hey, folks, we are back. It's Inside Real Estate with Mike Kruizinga. InsideRealEstateRadio.com is the website. Hey, time to go into another informational segment about your foundations out there, all you homeowners and all you potential homeowners out there. We're going to talk foundation talk with our favorite folks over at PermaPeer. The website's permapeer.com. That's permapeer.com. Phone number is 214-637-1444 for all your foundation needs. Jared Benson is here live in studio. Jared, how we doing?
Doing good. Great. Thanks for having me on again this morning.
Good to talk to you again, and always learning new things from you. And so I'm wondering what we're going to learn today. I think we were going to talk a little bit about, when your home needs foundation repair and kind of how to go about that process. And so let's get into it.
That's right. It's since foundation repair is such a big business here in DFW and North Texas in general, there are a lot of companies that do it, a whole lot of companies. Something that maybe we can talk about in another time is just, what do you have to do to be a foundation repair company? You might be surprised at the answer. So,
right.
Little teaser there for you for another show.
That's right. Exactly. Scary.
Yeah.
It is scary.
So when do you need foundation repair? Some companies will get the reputation, and I've heard people say it about companies, then they'll say, that company will put piers on a doghouse. So there's obviously people who don't do it the right way.
Right.
And sometimes that may be from a lack of training or a lack of understanding, even apart from people who are just going to try and sell something just to make a dollar. So
absolutely,
let's get into it. Now on another show, we've talked about sheetrock cracks, and that's kind of one of the first things people see when there may be an issue. And that's the way I like to say it. Just because you see some signs of stress doesn't mean you have a foundation problem.
Right.
They're just possible indicators. So one thing that people see a lot of are sheetrock cracks in the brick around the outside of the home, doors and windows that won't close the right way, or doors that swing open or they swing shut or they won't lock, or just cracks throughout the house, flooring that's maybe tiles popping or something like that.
Exactly.
So a lot of variety of different things you can see, and they're all possible indicators of foundation issues. And so all of our guys at PermaPure Foundation Repair are trained by licensed professional engineers on how to properly evaluate a foundation. And the way they train our guys, and I've sat in there and listened to them, and this is, the rare occasion that I look at a house too. This is what I take into account when I look at a house is 3 things need to be satisfied in order to recommend work for a house. The first one is what the engineer calls a propensity for further movement. Basically, is there a possibility that house is going to move more?
Right.
Well, as we've also talked about, there's clay in the soil here in North Texas, so that clay will move.
Yes.
So just about every house here in DFW, qualifies under check number 1.
Right. Just because of our geographic location.
Just because of geographical location, any house could possibly move, or most houses will say.
Right.
So, anybody could put a pier on a house if that was all you needed. Number 2 is that house, does it have a change in elevations? What I mean is that foundation exactly level, or is it a little bit off somewhere? Well, I don't know if you've ever tried to measure the floor in your house, but it's almost never exactly level. And I'm fairly confident I can say never.
Yes, I would agree.
It might be 1/10 of an inch off, but that's a change in elevations. So if that's where your knowledge stops, or that's where your justification stops, you can put a pier on almost every house here in DFW.
Sure.
But really, that's not a good place to stop, and I'll tell you why. Very, very smart mathematical people tend to plan and design the way homes are built, whether it's an architect or an engineer of some sort. They put all those plans together, and it all looks good on paper. But what happens when people go out there and actually start doing the work? Those guys aren't the ones pouring concrete. They're not the ones leveling the foundation. Who knows what the day was like,
the weather conditions,
conditions, what those guys who did the work did the night before. Exactly. You never know exactly.
That's right. Human error.
Human error, yeah. So what you see a lot of times is that brand new foundations still have a variation in their levels. So that's not a good place to stop. And then the third thing, the kicker, really. That our engineers that we work with stress to our evaluators is you need to have a sign of stress. When I say sign of stress, that's all the things we talked about in the very beginning. It's a crack in the drywall, a crack in the brick, a door that's not opening or not shutting, or something like that. A sign of stress that goes along with that change in elevation, that correlates with it. So, if there's a small crack on the left side of the house and a change in elevation on the right side, that's not what I'm talking about.
Right.
It really needs to go together to where, it's pretty much common sense,
Mm-hmm.
Your house is down in one corner, and you also have some cracks indicating that portion of the house is falling down.
Right.
Then you're not saying, oh, well, there's a change in elevation. What you're saying is the house has moved since it was originally built.
Right.
And that's when you may need some remedial repairs or something like that.
Yeah, and so it's gonna, folks, if you're kind of listening to what Jared's saying here, really goes to honesty. It goes to integrity of their company, whereas a lot of companies aren't going to go that far. As Jared said, we could probably put piers in every single house in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, but that's not necessary. And so
absolutely,
it really is going to be obvious. So if you're, walking into the home, and let's say we walk towards a back bedroom, on the right-hand side, and you're going downhill, well, that's, we need to have some work done there. Or if you go off to the left of the property and the back side of the property in the kitchen, it just totally drops off. Yeah. Or maybe it's raised up. Maybe it's heaving.
Yeah. That happens too.
or maybe there's a big hump in the middle, and to the left and the right, the properties both go downhill. Those types of things, folks, are really going to be kind of obvious, and this is when you need the folks at PermaPeer to come up with a good, solid plan on how to attack, getting your foundation taken care of. So, if you're listening, they're not looking to take advantage of you. They're going through all these extra steps to make sure you need the work. Because a lot of times, I've gone into so many houses helping clients look at homes. How many times have I gone into a home that's had foundation work done and it didn't need to be done, and it's worse off after the foundation work?
Yeah, that definitely happens. We've seen homes that they put piers on a house that looked like it needed piers to an untrained eye, but in reality, it needed plumbing repairs. Mm-hmm. Well, because the foundation repair was done, then they tested the plumbing after the fact. Then they said, well, now we need to fix the plumbing. Well, because they then fixed the plumbing, it caused other issues, and they had to go back out and put more piers on that house. Right. When in reality, if they would have just fixed the plumbing to begin with, they would have been okay. That's really another reason you want to work with people who are experienced and well-trained. And on a side note, I want to make sure people, one of the things I love hearing most when I come across a customer or read a review or something is, hey, they came out and listened to listen to what I'm actually going through, or my life stage, or my scenario, and they told me that, well, maybe my house kind of needed a couple of piers. It really wasn't important for me to do right now. Right. If you're in a home and you're going to be there for the next 10 years, and you've got a small little crack in one corner of the house, is it best to do repairs early? Yes, but it's not vital sometimes. However, if you're looking to sell your house and you have some cracks showing and there's some elevation changes and repairs are needed, it might behoove you to get that done before an appraiser comes in and calls it out and throws a wrench in that loan process.
Exactly.
So there are factors that come into play just in what your scenario is too.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. True, there may need to be some work done, but depending on what's going on with that homeowner, you're exactly right. Their position in life, are they selling? Are they not? How long do they plan to be there? What potential damage could be done to the house if the work is not done? Mm-hmm. Is it a spot where it's not going to hurt anything to get by a couple years? Or could it really... It needs the work done now so it doesn't do more damage to the rest of the property. Or
maybe some other stuff that the owner might be able to try on his own. Maybe if I water that portion of the yard well enough over a given period of time, maybe it'll come back on its own. Sometimes that helps, sometimes it won't. But there's some other recommendations too.
Yeah, absolutely. So, folks, hopefully you've been listening to this, because this just really speaks to the absolute amazing integrity and honesty of PermaPeer. And so if you think you may need foundation repair out there, or even if you've had foundation repair done and maybe you need more, and plenty of homes out there have had foundation repair done a few times, and cause maybe it wasn't done the first time, or they needed it in more areas of the home in the future, we need to give PermaPeer a call. Folks, the website's permapeer.com. The website again, permapeer.com, and the phone number 214-637-1444. We've been talking with Jared Benson over at PermaPeer. Folks, another great foundation segment. It's Inside Real Estate, folks. We're going to be back in a second.
Living in the DFW area, expansive clay soil and extreme weather conditions play havoc on homes' foundation. But thankfully, you can turn to PermaPeer Foundation Repair of Texas, who has successfully repaired over 20,000 properties and counting in the DFW area. With the most trusted, tried and true foundation repair methods, trust the professional staff of PermaPeer Foundation Repair to take care of your property, and most repairs are backed by a lifetime transferable warranty. Mention Inside Real Estate Radio when calling PermaPeer at 214-637-1444 or when booking online at permapeer.com for your Inside Real Estate Radio discount.
Business owners, stop and listen now. The IRS is not your friend. If you owe the IRS 941 taxes, they can levy your bank accounts and shut your business down. I'm Corey Stafford with World Business Lenders, and we can help you get the IRS paid. We are a direct lender, and our only business is making loans to business owners like you. We offer a true business loan without requiring collateral and an asset-based loan with terms up to 3 years. We're not a broker and we don't charge broker fees. And since we're a direct lender, we can fund quickly. We make loans from $10,000 to $2 million with payback terms up to 3 years. And you don't need perfect credit. We approve over 80% of our loan applications and we can fund in a matter of days. So if you need funding to pay IRS taxes, grow your business, buy inventory, or just need some working capital, call me now at 855-85-FUNDS, 855-85-FUNDS, or apply online now at simplyquickbusinessloans.com and get funded now.
Now back to Inside Real Estate. Here's Mike the Realtor.
Hey folks, Mike Kruizinga. We're back. Inside Real Estate, website InsideRealEstateRadio.com, InsideRealEstateRadio.com. Time for JC Harder. We're going to talk insurance. JC Harder, owner of the JC Harder Goosehead Insurance Agency. And hey, the website's jcharderagency.com, jcharderagency.com. Phone number where they're always standing by, 214-643-6108. 214-643-6108. If you want to talk to JC, 888-787-CLIFF. What's up, JC?
Not much. How are you, Mike?
I'm doing good. What's going on in insurance world today?
Well, today we're going to talk about just the importance of an agent versus a website or a 1-800 number. And the reason, kind of what sparked this and to change it up from our carrier segments we've been going through is, I don't know if you've noticed, but there's a lot of advertisements towards compare.com. They did a lot during sporting events, local news, things like that. And that was actually a Google company. Okay. So last month they announced the basically the termination of compare.com. And, I think all of us agree that Google's, one of the main players in the internet world and everything they
say
touch.
that.
Yeah. So it was very interesting that they tried the car insurance route. It was more car insurance than home insurance, but either way it didn't last really long. So if someone powerful like Google, can't get it done, I think it just speaks to the major importance of, having that real life agent and not using a 1-800 number or someone that doesn't care, because, there's so many little ins and outs of insurance that people don't realize on the back end. And, one keystroke on a VIN number, one at fault versus a not at fault, one hail claim versus a collision claim. And then, reverse that on the home insurance side too, whether if it was a appliance related claim versus a weather claim. There's just so many little ins and outs that, you do truly want a live person that you trust and have good, referral partners that take care of you.
Yeah, that's a great point. A live human is nice, and live humans are rare.
Right.
In a world of automated phone 800 number nonsense, and once you actually get to somebody, they just say, go to blankblank.com and, goodbye.
Right.
Well, guess what? JC's live. He's real, and he's right here to take care of you here local in Dallas.
And then, a lot I've seen every now and then, again, anytime we're shopping companies or shopping clients, we're shopping 15 to 20 different companies. So we're testing that market, as is. When someone does get someone that's even, something that's half of what we're offering, then, I'm going to ask them to forward it to me. Let's take a look at it. And if it's legit, then I'm going to say, by all means, go for it. That's a really good product. But most of the times they're, having a deductible much higher, or there's not replacement cost on this, or there's, no water coverage or limited water coverage on this. So again, just going back to the importance of, we truly do care on, what the policy we are writing versus just trying to get bottom dollar. We had a recent success story between the three of us this week of a client that had called in, Mr. Whitlock. He was really, really honed in on his farmer's agency and went ahead and, because of you and Terry, pushed him to me to get some quotes, and we got that maxed out best type policy for under $70 a month. And he was, ecstatic because, same product as they were offering, just, half the premium.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a win-win. I mean, most of the time, folks, when you call in and talk to JC, or Patty or his team, you're going to find out that probably what you have is maybe an inferior policy. And so he's going to get you a better policy, get you better covered. And then more likely than not, he's actually going to save you some money too. So a win-win all around when you talk to them.
Absolutely. Another reason, just the importance of an agent. I saw a record high on a property this week. Someone in the very early stages of a contract and said, hey, would you get some quotes together for this? And they had 8 different property claims in 4 years on this house. And, that's the highest number I've ever seen. Some of them, there was some wind, hail, there was some water, there was some disappearance, there was $0 non-payout claims, and then there was, 2 hail claims within a year from apart, So that just screams, one thing, that either the client didn't have the best agent and let them make all these claims, or 2, the client just called the carrier directly and just asked questions. And if you ask questions to a carrier directly, they mark that down as claims. Where in our Goosehead model, we are a true consultant. We're a true middleman. We can assess the situation. And then at that point, okay, let's make a claim, or, hey, it's better to fix this out of pocket. So, again, that was just a record high to see 8 claims on one property. And I haven't heard back from the client. She's basically gathering details now from the real estate agent to see, what the exact details were. And just to make sure, one of them was a $30,000 fire claim. So obviously you want to see some updates to make sure everything's fixed on that. But
yeah, see that the money went into the property.
Exactly. But again, if you had, a 1-800 type agent, someone that didn't care in a sense, someone that's just going through the motions, they might not think anything of it. They might, give you a product with surcharges and everything. Where we stopped, hey, let's figure out exactly what's going on. So see what's going to truly, hurt or help your insurance score in this situation.
Yeah, absolutely. We want everything local. We want to know the local weather, the local time, the local traffic, because we need the conditions on the ground. And it's the same thing with insurance. And you're right here, so it's a no-brainer.
Absolutely. And also, it also kind of, I don't know if you've seen the commercials here lately on the mortgage side, but I feel like all I see is about this Quicken Loans, Rocket Mortgage now.
Yeah.
And it's just like the mortgage is such a big piece and such a financial decision, and to, click some buttons and talk to someone and, multiple
Detroit.
States away, it's just like it reminded me a lot of this Compare Now thing. So, and again, it's just like that's why you use Terry and Rocky at Supreme Lending, and you just use local partners that truly know about one thing, our industry, our area, and, that truly care to get you into that home.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. I have plenty of horror stories with Quicken Loans, and of course they've rebranded this separate sort of program they're doing, the Rocket thing. And they're doing a great job marketing-wise. There's no doubt about it. But, folks, these are mostly people are going to be in Detroit. And last time I had an issue with them, they didn't even know that roofers were not licensed here in the state of Texas. And, even though they're licensed to do business in all the states, they don't know. Their people, their loan officers don't know everything locally. So you're so right, and you need someone local.
Right, and that's something our corporate did here recently as well, too, because we used to have access to – like our corporate had a license in every single state to write insurance in as well. And, we just didn't get enough leads from Alabama or Arkansas or, somewhere like that. So now Goosehead is only writing business in the states where we have offices. So we know, common trends and, types of properties and roofers, inspectors, and things like that. So, again, it's just you want to keep any type of these type of decisions, whether it's real estate, mortgage, insurance, you want to have someone, that's close and you can truly trust.
Absolutely. 100% agree. Another great segment with J.C. Harder. Folks, the website, you need to check in with him, jcharderagency.com, jcharderagency.com. Phone number 214-643-6108. Make sure you talk to him and say, hey, we heard you on the radio, and we need you to take a look at all of our policies and help us out too. Folks, short break, then we're coming back for Mortgage Talk. See you in a few.
I believe in you. Just 4 simple words, but to a child in need, they mean the world. I believe in you means you have potential. You are special. You matter. When you become a child sponsor with Save the Children, you're saying, I believe in you. You are smart. You're capable. You will overcome obstacles that most can't imagine. Your sponsorship says to a child, I believe that you deserve a successful start to life and a solid foundation to build upon. I believe you're worthy of good nutrition, quality health care, and the opportunity that education unlocks. Becoming a Save the Children sponsor sends a powerful message of support. It says, I am here for you, to lift you up, to cheer you on, and to celebrate your success. Because when you believe in a child, you empower them to believe in themselves. I believe in you. Just 4 simple words that can bring hope, that can change a life. Visit sponsor.savethechildren.org today and tell a child in need, I believe in you.
KLIF News and Information, keeping you informed around the clock every day. The resources of our local news team stays on top of the news as it breaks, and that means you are on top of the news. Traffic information every morning when you need it. Lock us in with traffic on the 5s at 5, 15, 25, 35, 45, and 55 past the hour. And it all comes your way from our home right in the nerve center of Dallas, Victory Park, next to the American Airlines Center. News and Information, 570 AM, KLIF.
Now back to Inside Real Estate. Here's Mike the Realtor.
Hey folks, Mike Kruizinga. We're back. Inside Real Estate, InsideRealEstateRadio.com is the website. Time for Mortgage Talk. Resident expert here on all things mortgage, Terry Wagner's here in studio. RockyMartin.com is the website. Rocky with an IE. Phone number 866-607-5667. Terry, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you, Mike?
Good.
Good.
This week's been a beatdown.
Yeah, it has been, hasn't it?
It's been a real beatdown.
Well, maybe it was just all the rain.
Maybe.
And next week's going to be great because it's supposed to be sunny all week long.
That's right. And last night, it cleared out and it was a beautiful night, all the stars and the moon, and it's going to be a sunny day today. So you're right.
Here we go.
Excellent outlook on the week.
There we go. Here we go.
Let's rock and roll. What do we got? What's going on?
Well, first I wanted to just kind of comment on JC's comment. Yeah, that Rocket Mortgage Insurance, they are doing a great job advertising, but I get nervous every time I see that ad on TV. It just it frightens me to know that everything that goes into this process, they are trying to simplify, and it just can't be simplified.
It's just not simple.
It just can't be simplified.
No. Yeah,
So-
we have to get all your information. It's a pain in the butt. You have all kinds of hoops and regulations that
Right.
you guys have to go through by law.
Right.
So, when I'm thinking that Rocket Mortgage, I'm really thinking of that, there was that thing that clip of that 1960s test rocket, that they did out in Nevada, and they were testing the rockets, and they just kind of went up 20 feet, and then they just nosedived.
Right.
That's kind of what I'm thinking when I think,
I'm thinking that'll happen a lot.
Rocket Mortgage.
Yeah, there's just too much to know and too much to do.
That's right. Call Terry instead because,
That's right.
look, she's been doing it forever, and she knows what she's doing.
Well, I don't know about forever, Mike.
That's right.
Okay, that's all right, though. Well, that's a whole nother story. Okay, so today I wanted to talk about just kind of understanding the mortgage process, and this kind of goes along with all that's involved in doing your mortgage.
Okay.
So the very first, you have to get pre-qualified.
Yes, please.
And during the pre-qualification process, now what we're going to do is we're going to gather a bunch of information from you, and we're going to pull your credit, and we're going to put all of our numbers together, and we're going to discuss those numbers with you. And then beyond that, just because per our conversation everything fits doesn't mean everything fits.
Right.
We need for you to go ahead and send in all the requested documents so that we can make sure, as an individual, as a home buyer or a refinancer, you don't know all the ins and outs of the mortgage and how to get it accomplished. There may be something small on your tax returns or on your paycheck stub, or lots of stuff can come up during the mortgage process. So you want to make sure and send all those documents in at the beginning, not just kind of trickle them in. When we send you that needs list, all the information that we need to gather from you, you need to get it in early and quick.
Yeah, ASAP.
So once we do that, we can send you, Mike, as the real estate agent, we can send you that pre-qualification letter so that you can go start shopping. Next step, obviously, when you find the home, you want to make the offer. So you're going to negotiate back and forth on the price of the house and who's going to pay for what, because there's a lot of negotiation that goes on during that part. So Mike helps with that. And then once everyone's in an agreement, then there's acceptance of the offer. Everyone's happy. Everyone likes the numbers and everyone's moving forward. So at that point, depending on how long it's been since the pre-qualification, we're going to collect new documents, updated documents. If it's been a couple of months, we need new paychecks, new bank statements, all that good stuff.
Right.
Then we're going to get into the processing of it. So the file's passed on to the processing department, and they're going to what we call set up your file. So they're going to order all your verifications, order your taxes. Order your title, your tax transcripts. You're going to order insurance from JC. We're going to get all of that. Order the appraisal, all that good stuff.
Right.
Once we get all that in, then we're ready to submit it into underwriting. Underwriting is going to give us an approval based on conditions, what we call conditions, additional items that need to be satisfied before we can get a final loan approval. Excuse me. Then we're going to get with the borrower, get what we need from additional items, cross this T, dot that I. Then we're going to get our clear to close. Then the fun starts. Then we go to closing. Mm-hmm. Everyone goes to the title company, and you sign your life away for at least 30 years or however long you're doing the loan. And that process usually takes about, at the title company, usually takes 45 minutes to an hour. And then after everyone signs, both buyer and seller, we fund the loan typically on the same day. That whole process probably going to take you about, we'll say 30 days.
Right.
If we're in a hurry and everyone's in a big hurry, we can get it done quicker than that. Usually 3 weeks is about average.
Right.
So that's the mortgage process. There's lots that go into that, but I truly think that the key part is that pre-qualification and getting all your loan documents in early so that they can be reviewed.
Right. And the big thing is folks, when you can't do this thing online. You can try it, but it's not going to work out. You need to actually speak to a real live person. You need to speak to Terry. If you're going to take the easy way out and things, then you're going to get what you get.
Right.
You need to put your big boy and big girl pants on out there. You're buying a house and say, okay, you know what? I need to talk to somebody about this. Okay. Even if you bought a house before, well, guess what? It's changed in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, especially if you bought way back when. It's totally changed. Yes, there's a lot of verification process that goes on. We've got to do all kinds of employment verification multiple times.
Right.
All kinds of things. And folks, your credit history is just so difficult. We got 3 reports and they've got to do a lot of pulling, and you've probably got things on there that have to be dealt with.
Right.
You have to understand and take responsibility for your credit situation out there. Now, we can do a lot of magical things in getting people into homes. We really can. But, you can't come back and complain to us when there's stuff in your credit report, things that you've done in your past that you've neglected that show up and that we've got to deal with and address.
Right.
And so maybe that impacts your credit score. Maybe it impacts what kind of program we can put you on. You need to accept the responsibility for your credit. Now we'll help you figure out how to get over those. Everybody's had tough times. Everybody's had issues, come up. We talked about the Back to Work program last week.
Right.
So we can get you into a home, but, folks, strap it on and get ready to, have a little bit of heartache, maybe, and maybe a little bit of stomach ache because the regulations that the mortgage industry has to deal with is tough.
They're intense.
They are super intense, but you guys make it so easy considering what all you have to go through to get somebody into a loan. I mean, you really do.
We put a lot of work into each file that a lot of times the customers don't realize.
Yeah.
Because that's our job.
Right.
To make sure that they don't realize all the work that we've put into a file before we ever get to the place where they can put a contract on a home.
Right.
We go to a lot of expense in our branch, pulling credit, pulling rescores. There's a lot of expense that goes into that before we ever get to the place where we can close a loan for someone.
Right.
So a lot of work goes into it, and a lot of times the borrower doesn't know all the work that goes in, and that's okay because that's our job.
Mm-hmm.
And my thanks comes when someone actually gets to move into their home.
Right. Exactly, and that's why we do it, is to help people, get the American dream, which is home ownership. And
right.
so and we work for free most of the time.
We do work for free for many months, don't we, Mike?
We sure do. But we care.
That's right.
And
we
that's
do
why
care.
everybody enjoys working with us.
That's right. Whether they know it or not.
That's right. If they don't know it, we'll tell them afterwards.
That's right. That's right. Okay,
we got about a couple more minutes to go here.
Just a couple of things to avoid. I had a list of to do, but we're going to go to avoid. Don't change jobs. If you change jobs, if you have just a wonderful job offer coming along your way, talk to us about it. Because that can make a huge impact. If you're going from a W-2 income to a commission income, that blows your whole deal.
Right.
So don't change jobs without talking to your loan officer. Don't open any new lines of credit. No new debt. We've had so many files in our office just in the last couple of weeks. People just go buy a new car.
Yeah.
So kills the whole deal.
Yep.
Don't pay off any collection accounts. I know that kind of sounds strange, but don't pay off a collection account until you talk to your loan officer because that can actually lower your credit score. Call me and I'll explain why.
Exactly.
Don't make any large deposits into your bank account. Talk to us about that. Don't make any transfers between your two accounts, 2, 3, however many accounts. Talk to us about that. No negative balances on your bank account. No NSFs. That can really hurt us bad.
Mm-hmm.
Don't make any large purchases. Don't go buy that refrigerator till after you sign on the dotted line and I tell you you're good.
Right.
Do not allow anyone to pay some fees on your loan process for you without talking with us because that's considered a gift. It can be done. We just have to make sure it's done correctly.
Right.
So.
And again, folks, this goes to we're not just making this stuff up and trying to make your life difficult. These are regulations that they have to go by. Okay. And so they're just trying to let you know. And what you want to do in the loan process is don't hide anything because guess what? We're going to find it out, and it's not that we're trying to be, sneaky and get into your business and ask you all these personal questions. We'd rather not know, but it is the business.
Right.
And so we have to know. And so don't hide it because guess what? It's just going to screw you up later. Mm-hmm. If you hide something that ends up killing a deal late in the deal, if you'd have told us about it in the first place, then maybe we could have just delayed your search by 3 months, gotten it fixed, and then you would have been good to go. Instead, you're getting darn near close to the closing table. You've lied to us about something or omitted to tell us, and guess what? It killed the deal. So you want to be honest up front and get us all the information to Terry that she needs, and don't lie, don't omit anything, and do it the right way, and we'll get you into a home. And, folks, it's just the process. It just is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Folks, Inside Real Estate, Mike Kruizinga. See you next week.
Neither the hosts nor the guests or contributors of the show Inside Real Estate with Mike Kruizinga, 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 Inside Real Estate with Mike